When the world seems out of control, and it kind of does, you are in total control of something. And that total control that you have control over is how you respond, how you let things bother you, how you let them eat away at you. Now is the time to let it go. Your time on your mat is your time to just let all of that outside world go. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. This is where you do it your way. We do a practice live every single day, start to finish. No cuts, no breaks. What's real is real. The dogs have proved that the last couple of days. But it's a 1 hour long practice. Every day we do something different. Today's is restorative. And if you think an hour is a long time, just try it for 10 minutes. You'll feel good. And before you know it, that 10 minutes is going to go by so fast, and the hour will be over. But if it is only 10 minutes that you can spare, you'll be so much better off for it. So take the time. There are very few poses today. There's 7 poses, depending upon how you count. But we're going to have it be a quiet time. We're going to have it be a body stillness time. So like I said, join us every day for a practice. Be still in today's practice. Every day is different. Every practice is different. Fridays is a challenge. Tuesdays and Saturdays are a challenge too. But just check us out. Today, you let your mind calm. That's the hardest part for me. Be still and enjoy. Whatever you do, bottom of the screen says do what's right for your body. If something hurts or you don't like it, just back out of it or take it to a lesser percentage. But don't hurt yourself. That's the big thing. The word to think about, and I love this word, the word today to think about is soothe. So soothe means to be tranquil, to be calm, to just be relieved, to be comforted, and to refresh. So let that practice, today's practice, do that for you. We all need it. Try to achieve it. Okay, props. Be near a wall. We're going to do legs up the wall. We're going to start in a child's pose that's elevated on the bolster. So grab your bolster, your blocks, and a blanket, and maybe some water. In this pose, before you come on down, let's lock in a stress number. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, give it a number, assign it a number, and we'll come back to that at the end. Let's come into our first pose. So I've got my blocks set up like the shape of a letter L. It's just for support. Your knees. All right, I know knees sometimes don't feel so good. Here's what you could do. You could put your legs around your bolster, hug the bolster in up near your groin, and hinge forward. If it's too far away, put your blanket up there and rest your chest onto your bolster. If knees aren't an issue, you can take a bend. You can put your blanket underneath them. That might feel good. Bring your knees to the bottom of the bolster, just kind of hug it a little bit, and then recline with your chest onto your bolster. So take a deep breath in, lengthen through your spine, and a deep breath out as you let your spine relax and your tailbone go back to your heels. Arms wherever you want them to be, whatever feels comfortable. Rest your head into your bolster, or turn your head and rest a cheek on the bolster. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out as you settle in here. We're going to be real quiet today. I'm going to be real quiet today. I'll let you know when it's time to turn your head, if you're on one cheek, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out of the pose. Deep breaths in through your nose and deep breaths out through your mouth. And then eventually settle into closing your lips, if it works for you, and breathe in and out of your nose only. Let the thoughts go. That's the hardest part. Try not to think. Just focus on your breath. Deepen your breaths and turn your head in the other direction if you've been resting on one cheek. Take a deep breath in and a deep, slow breath out. You can stay here longer if you like. I'm going to go on to just my back on this bolster, so you don't have to change the setup at all. In fact, you could keep your eyes closed if you want. Slowly rise on up and flip around so your back will now be resting on your bolster. You could bring your eye shade or your towel to cover your eyes. And if you've got a blanket, I've got a weighted blanket today. You can place that on your legs. Legs can be long. Knees can be bent. That feels better perhaps on your low back. Or open up your knees to the sides of the room. And maybe open up your blanket too, especially if it's a weighted blanket. You could use sandbags also to just open up in the hips. We worked the hips a lot yesterday. So we're just reminding our hips to just stay nice and flexible and open. Arms down by your sides, palms up. If you want to maximize the breathing and the feel good in the chest kind of feeling here, or internally rotate your shoulders so your hands are down on the ground if you just want to feel more stable and grounded. If you have your eye shade, you can cover your eyes and breathe deeply here. No rush, no hurry. Don't worry about a thing. Just breathe. I'll let you know when our time is up in this position. Deepen your breath and soften the area between your eyebrows. Create a little space between your teeth. Don't clench your jaws. Relax. Take a deep breath in and your deep breath out. Stay here longer if this is speaking to you. I'm going to move into a caterpillar pose. So come out of the pose the way you came in. I'm going to draw my knees back together to the midline of my body and release my legs long. Don't have to move much here. In fact, I could keep my eyes closed. I'm going to press on up to a seated position. I'm going to bring the bolster onto my extended legs. And you set up however's comfortable for you. It might feel good to put a blanket under your knees. You might like to put the blanket on top of the bolster. And we're going to take this caterpillar pose by bringing our chest down to our setup, reaching your arms wherever you want them to be, and resting your head on the bolster. The edge of the bolster is up close to your waist. Maybe you fold the blanket a couple of times so you can rest your head. As time ticks on in this 5-minute pose, maybe you decrease the folds in the blanket to allow your chest to come closer to the bolster while still being comfortably supported. So don't forget to get closer and closer as the time goes on. So rest here. Deep breaths in, allow your spine to be nice and long and find space. And deep breaths out, let you fold more forward. Deepen your breath. Take one more deep breath in here. And your deep, a little bit slower exhale. And just observe where you are. When you first came in, maybe you had multiple blankets stacked, maybe it was really uncomfortable, but you allowed yourself to suck it up, buttercup, and just kind of get into it. As long as it didn't hurt, you took the time to rest into this pose and allow the body to release. So stay here longer if you like. The next transition is super, super easy. All you're going to do is work your legs apart. Think wide-legged forward fold. That's where we're going. Slip the bolster down between your legs. Spread your legs comfortably wide. Maybe reintroduce the blanket. It's up to you. And come on down. Maybe you don't need to reintroduce the blanket. You don't want to reintroduce the blanket. Let's stay here for 5 minutes. Keep the thoughts at bay and just focus on the breath. As you inhale, your spine is getting longer, and as you exhale, your belly button goes back to your spine, allowing you to rest further forward. If the bolster is still a little too far away, use that blanket on top of it, or maybe even bring your block to your forehead. And as time progresses, just let it feel right as you come down closer to the bolster. Deepen your breath and just feel how the breath affects your body in this pose. Take your deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then slowly, really super slowly, walk yourself up with your hands on the ground, bringing your shoulders up over your hips. Maybe you keep the eyes closed and bring either your bolster horizontally on your mat or use a block. We're going to go into a bridge pose, a restorative bridge pose. So come on down nice and slowly onto your mat. Use either your bolster if you want to adjust that underneath your hips, or use the block. Bend your knees, send your hips on up to the sky. Place the block at whatever height you like. Place it nice and low on your low back, kind of on your sacrum, and rest here. Arms down by your sides. You can take the restorative bridge pose with the soles of your feet on your mat, with your feet kind of in line with your knees and your knees in line with your hips. Or walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. You'll feel that. And you can do a collapsed bridge where the knees come together at the midline of your body. Or do a little combination of the two, if you like. All right, we'll be here for about 4 minutes or so. Breathe, let the hips relax. Open up through those hip flexors, however you like holding the legs. We've got about a minute to go here. If you're enjoying your supported bridge pose, stay here, but just listen to your body. Maybe it's time for you to come out of it or change it up. I'm going to change it up in a real simple way. I'm going to bring my block to a more stable position. So I'm going to press into my feet, bring my block on down, and I'm going to take that pontoon pose. So that's where your legs are extended long on that block. And really stretch out both hip flexors at the same time. Maybe that is something that appeals to you now. Just do what feels really good for your body. Take a deep breath in and a deep, slow breath out. Wherever you are, if you want to stay there longer, stay. I'm going to come out of this pose and I'm going to make my way to the wall for a legs up the wall pose and a little something else. If you wish to join me, come out of the pose the way you came in. I'm going to press into my feet from my bridge pose, lifting my bottom up a little bit off the block. Then I'm going to slowly, with purpose, roll my spine down one vertebra at a time. Then I'm going to bring my tailbone down last and let this feel really good. Think of how when you do your cat-cow pose, how you send your tailbone to the sky in cow. Send your tailbone like that into the ground here. Slowly make your way up into the wall if you want to. If you don't have a wall nearby, you could use a chair and being in a reclined position, lift your legs and place the calves of your legs onto the chair, the seat of the chair. So I'm going to make my way to the wall. Maybe bring your eye shade and your towel or your blanket. Don't need a block. Come to rest on the ground near your wall. Bring one hip up to the wall. Send your legs up the wall. Cover your eyes if you'd like. I'm going to put that blanket underneath my head a little bit here. All right, so you can stay right here in your legs up the wall. We're going to get there, but I'm going to do something else a little different first. It's up to you. Yesterday we did the hips. I really want to get back to the hips. Okay, so maybe keep your left leg on the wall. You don't have to look. I'll talk you through it. Bend your right leg a little bit and then cross the right leg over the left, bringing the outside of the right ankle onto the shin. And your left leg is extended now high on the wall. Start to bend it a little bit. Sliding the foot down a little bit down the wall. Maybe take the right leg, the one that's really bent, the first one that bent, bring it on up onto the thigh. Maybe slide the left leg a little bit more down the wall. And you may have to scoot back a little bit depending upon your height and the sensation you're going for here in your right hip. Maybe slip the left heel down the wall a little bit more. And the leg that's bent on top, I've got my right one. The outside of the right knee, I'm going to send it a little more toward the wall. Eyes can be covered and you can rest here for a little while. I'm not going to stay very long. You stay as long as you like. I'm just going to set about a minute timer here to just relax and release in the hips, the shoulders. If and when it feels good, slide the heel down a little more or slide it back up. Just whatever feels good. Work those glutes in the right side of your bottom and in your hip. Let it feel good as you nestle in. All right, that's about a minute on that side. Let's release the right leg to the wall. Send the right leg up the wall. And then do the same thing on the opposite side. So bend your left knee, bend it. Bring the outside of that ankle onto the shin. And then start to let the right leg slide down the wall a little bit. Maybe this is good enough. Maybe this is where you want to be. Maybe you take that left shin, hug it in closer, bringing the outside of the left ankle onto the right thigh. Start to scoot the right leg down, the foot on the wall, as much or as little as you like. Get comfortable here, if that's such a thing. Keep your hips down and enjoy this stretch here. You're in control. Adjust the stretch more intensely or less so. It's about a minute on that side. Maybe you want to stay longer, or maybe you're ready to go into your both legs up the wall. So I'm going to slide my right heel up the wall. I'm going to have my left heel join it. I'm going to send my tailbone down toward the earth. And I'm going to stay here in this legs up the wall pose for 5 minutes or longer. You'll get to decide. Arms down by your sides, maybe palms up. Maybe snow angel the arms out a little bit to what feels good. Maybe even goal post the arms, working the forearms parallel to each other towards the sides of your head. You could take it even farther. Bring the arms up overhead and reach for opposite elbows if that feels good. Another relaxing option you choose is hand to heart and hand to belly. Choose what feels good for you. Your choice. Deepen your breaths. Check in with your eyebrows every so often to make sure that there's no tension there. Eyes rest heavily in the eye sockets. and you are at peace. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Settle your tailbone down into the mat. Now when you're ready, if you're ready, I'm going to move into a final Shavasana pose. You can stay here in your legs up the wall pose longer. It's a great pose in which to stay. If you wish to come off the wall, come off the way you came on. Maybe bend your knees, roll off onto one side or the other, and then make your way back to your mat. All right, final Shavasana pose. So many ways you can do this. You could use your bolster underneath your knees. I tend to like that, so I'm going to place the bolster under my knees and cover up with the blanket if you like. And it's nice and heavy, so either put it on your feet, your ankles, your shins, whatever feels good. Eye shade and towel. Come on down to fully recline. Hello to Lori and Scott, Tammy and Betty, Stan and Diane, Liz, Marietta, Tyrone, Lynn, Kelly, Rena, Tim, Connell, Barbara. I'm glad you guys are here. Come on down, all the way down. Cover up with your blanket, however you want to cover up. Try that bolster under your knees sometimes. It feels really nice. Heels spread to the edges of your mat. You could have absolutely nothing here at all, or cover up with all your great props. Maybe you like to put a little towel under your neck, cover your eyes with your eye shade, arms down by your sides, shoulders away from the ears. Wiggle your shoulder blades down and a little closer to your spine. Palms face up or palms face down. Pinky toes fall to the edges of your mat. Deep breaths in, let the belly rise up. Deep breaths out, let the navel sink to the spine. Focus on the breath as you soften in the face, the shoulders, the legs, and the mind. If you have your remote control nearby, you might want to hit pause, or, just stay here with us for we'll be about 5 minutes. Let's go for 3 minutes here. I'll go for about 3 minutes in this pose, but if you have that remote, you can pause it and stay as long as you like. Breathe deeply and enjoy. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Stay longer if you want to. Such a great pose to just reset and focus on what's important, your breath and the stillness of your mind. If it's time for you to conclude your practice, imagine taking a breath that is so refreshing in through your nose. And then sigh it out. Let go of everything that doesn't serve you. Why hold on to it? Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, wiggle them. On an inhale, reach high overhead, point your toes down, lift your fingers high. Stretch it out like it's the first good morning stretch. Give it a wiggle in the ribs. And then bend your knees and roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Use your low arms bicep as a pillow for your head. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take another big breath and just savor it, because it'll never come again. Whenever you're ready, maybe keep your eyes closed and gently float on up to a comfortable seated position. I like keeping my blanket with me. Bring your hands to prayer center, press your thumbs into your chest and lengthen up through your spine. Big breath in. Big sighing breath out as you let it all go. Gently blink your eyes open. You did it. Good job. Took a stress number in the beginning. Take a stress number now. What is it? What are you feeling? Try to keep that number all day long. And as you go on with your day, allow this balance. Allow, that's the key word. Allow the balanced inner calmness radiate from your peaceful center. Doesn't that sound good? All right. If you do that, the world will envy you. Have a great day on your mats, everybody. Have a great day off of your mats, everybody. And we'll see you on your mat tomorrow. Love you guys. Goodbye. Hi. You're a good girl. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.